Swap. Oh, there we go. Okay. Does all that fit on screen? Mostly. Good enough. Alright, good afternoon everyone. My name is Phil Gallagher. I run ThrabenU University. Today, I'm following along in a series of reward streams that I've been doing, where I stream with a whole bunch of like random decks that I don't usually stream with. And today, we played Goblins in the morning, and now we're going to move on to a good old tentacle stompy, Eldrazi. These weird tentacle monsters, squid people, whatever you want to call them, they're lovable, kind of, really frustrating. Tribal rewards, yes, that is exactly what we're doing. So, there's not anything too fancy with this deck list. In my flex slots in the main, I've chosen Umezawa's Jitte, Warping Wail, and Dismember to kind of fill things out, as well as 2 Walking Ballista and 2 Endbringers, opting to only run 3 Spirit Guides in order to fit that all in. This is my friend Travis Gibson's list from an open or 2 ago, I think. He did well with it, and I really like everything that's going on here. I don't really know about this Crucible of Worlds. It's a little suspect, but it might be good in some cases. I really like most of the rest of the sideboard, though, as I have good generic hate cards like Thorn of Amethyst, Spyglass, Warping Wail, that can be boarded in for a variety of reasons. And why did that disappear? I stopped hosting that person. There we go. Sorry about that. I've got a good variety of very generic cards that can be boarded in. Pretty excited to try out Karn in this shell. I don't have that many artifacts in comparison to something like Red Prison, but I still probably have enough where, like, this is going to be good. Otherwise, this is an Eldrazi deck, so I don't have a lot to say, and we're just gonna battle. Make sure I reset my volume. And Rob, thank you for your continued support. I didn't email you back, but the leaderboard you're building looks good. I figure we'll throw a paint on that when coat of paint on that when we get to Latin Academy and pretty it up a bit, and that'll be exactly what we're looking for. That's quick. So I have a lot of critters that can get pretty big and out of control pretty quickly. We'll see what my opponent ends up playing. I could blow my Spirit Guide and my Ballista right now to take this Death Threat Shaman off the table, but I don't think I want to do that. So my opponent is streaming the other side of this match. Their handle is ARK4N11. If you're interested in watching the other side of the match as well. I had exchanged some words with my opponent, but then I played the endless one, and my opponent is like, but I hate Eldrazi. Grrr. Ah. Alright, so we traded 2 for 2 there, since I used a Spirit Guide to try to make it real big. Yeah, Rob, I agree. Alright, my opponent has missed a land drop, so I can use this opportunity to, like, Ballista 100% kill Deathright Shaman. But I think I'd rather just, like, double Matter Reshaper this turn. Oh, neat, we got a Force of Will there. Pitching a Jace. We'll see how punished I get for not trying to remove the Ballista. Or sorry, I guess like if I would have used the Ballista, it just would have gotten forced. So, like, it's probably just better that I didn't. Given information that I have now, at least. King, this is, regular old colorless Eldrazi. Ah, into Turok taking my Ballista. What a meanie. Yeah, I really like white Eldrazi. I will sacrifice Matter Reshaper. Oh man, I messed up. I should have put that on 8th so I could cast my Spirit Guide. But this might just be better. I'm fine with trading the Mimic for a Deathright Shaman, or a Flashed-in Snapcaster Mage. Goodbye, ability to cantrip. Yeah, I like a lot of what Jeff Hoagland does with his content. I know he gets a bad rap from a lot of people for various reasons, but I think he has a very good content model, and I think he puts on quality content. Alright, so we're playing against some sort of, like, check pile type deck, probably. So I probably want this Karn. I probably want Warping Whale to get Deathrite Shaman off the table. The All Is Dust is probably fine. The Crucible's bad against K-Command, but otherwise, like, Recurring Wasteland's pretty good. So I'd consider that. And I'd consider Spyglasses as well. Probably wouldn't board Crucible. So what don't I want? Let's start there. Smasher's right here, ready to smash. Alright. Dismember can go. I don't really want to tie up my mana using Jitte. And I don't really want to expose that to K-Command. I can probably sacrifice a little bit of speed and just pitch these Spirit Guides and then run all of this stuff. That all seems fine to me. Yeah, so King, just to kind of like follow up on some of the Jeff Hoogland stuff, I'm basically ripping off his donation model as well. You know, my primary deck is D&T, but for special occasions and when I get bored, I play other things. But I do have donations available. So recently I did 3 Stoneblade streams for donations, and then I did 2 Amp streams for donations. This does not have enough mana. This is going to be a mulligan. This probably has too much mana, but I'm going to keep it. Do I want that endless one? So I can go turn 1 Mimic, turn 2 Endless one, crash in for 4. This is probably good enough to keep on top. If my opponent doesn't lead on Deathrite Shaman, I will just Wasteland them into Oblivion. Rats. I could also just play this as a 2/2 now, but I hit for the same amount of damage next turn if I don't. So I'll just pass. Two fill streams in one day equals priceless and completely and utterly unproductive. Happy to help. I guess it's helping. Alright. Hand does need a little bit of help now. I wonder if I do just, like, start going after their lands anyway. And just, like, Wasteland C this turn, Wasteland Badlands the next turn, and eventually just Spyglass the Deathrite Shaman. Please don't play follow-up Deathrite Shaman. And Andre, thank you very much for your continued support. Alright, I'm 1 mana away from Smasher. Quite a bit of mana away from Karn. Ew! So I can just play Smasher this turn and trade with the Strix. That's not the best. Let's see what's going on over there. Force him Deluge. Ooh, who's everyone's favorite mono-white legend that isn't a Thalia? Gotta go with Mangara. Mangara's sweet. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kind of like 8 mana, so I can't do both of these. I think it's just time to Karn. See if opponent drew a blue card for Force. They did not. So I can create an artifact duder. It's a 2/2, and I can make another one. But I think it's just time to go up. I accept my one-sided Howling Mine. Ooh. So I'm going to get an Eldrazi Temple now. I'll have an All Is Dust later. So this is 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I can already cast All Is Dust very easily. So that's cool. Alright, so I got the All Is Dust. My opponent will just be able to him it if they hit a black source. That would be inconvenient for me. Oh no, my Urborg! Oh no! Oh! Oh, I didn't see that. Alright, on board tricks. On board tricks. Okay. Ooh, Reality Smasher and Endbringer. Tasty. opponent is probably going to deluge for 5 to get this off the table, so I'm not going to play the Ballista. I'll play the Ballista on my turn after my opponent deluges. Ooh, no attack. Alright, so it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. X is 3. So this might just get Force of Willed. Nope. Deal 1 damage to Baleful Strix. I have no reason to give my opponent information about what I'm going to do with the card. And I'm pretty likely to just like cast Ballista no matter what to blow up the Baleful Strix, so I think this is just fine. Alright, so what's in exile with silver counters? Do I just want to put the Endbringer to my hand? Yeah, that's fine. So now my opponent can Deluge for 5 to get rid of Smasher, but then I'll Ballista shoot my opponent for 2, and then they're in very bad shape. Ping you. Ping you. So I know my opponent still has a Force, so this Endbringer might get forced. So I'm going to go ahead and cast this now. Need to pay 1 more. Oh, that just resolved. Just going to plus Karn. I know I can minus Karn to produce another body, but that would put Karn into Lightning Bolt range, so I don't think I want to do that. Alright, so it's just 2 lands. I don't think I need to play Caracas for any reason right now. Although since I have more lands, maybe it's just like free to. That way I can bounce a Leovold if need be. And just continue to make land drops. Yeah, another ballista would have been pretty good. Okay, so I want to pause the league for a minute to just like talk about this for a minute. So this was a preview card from today that I think is legacy playable. So it's called Resplendent Angel. It's going to be from the new core set, M19. It's a 3/3 flyer for 3, and that's already pretty aggressive. And it has 2 abilities. One, at the beginning of each end step, if you gain 5 or more life this turn, create a 4/4 white angel token with flying and vigilance. Okay. Its second ability enables that first ability. So it's 6 mana, 3 colorless and 3 white. Until end of turn, Resplendent Angel gets +2/+2 and gains lifelink. So, assuming you get to the end game with this card, this is a 5/5 lifelinker for 3 mana that generates a 4/4 white angel token with vigilance and flying every turn. I can see this card fitting into the Angel Stompy deck pretty well. It's very good there because you're slowing the game to an absolute crawl. And that deck was already something that wanted to play Exalted Angel for some like lifelink. So this might be largely an upgrade there. The white can be a little tricky early on, which is sometimes they play cards that are only a single colorless mana. But this might be one of those things that can go and make that work. Oh, Rob, I agree. Like, in Standard, you have so many crazy good angels right now, right? You have Shalai, Lyra, and Resplendent Angel, and probably some others that I don't know about. Like, all of those cards are going to play very, very nicely together. Like, if you play this and then you go and crack with Lyra, like, Lyra hits for 5 with lifelink, and then that triggers that, and you get a 4/4 Angel. So I think this card is going to see play in Angel Stompy. I don't know. Oh, the Banishing Light Angel is still in Standard? Oh, that card's really good. Jeez, that's going to be impressive. I don't know whether or not this is going to be good enough for, like, Legacy D&T. It's a card that I'll probably try out because it's super interesting, but it's going to compete with Brightling. And Brightling is, like, stupid good. But I like that there is another option for sort of like an aggressive life link with some condition card. So this is something that might be playable. I don't know. I talked with Zach about it a little bit earlier today. He's optimistic. I'm a touch more skeptical, but this definitely falls into the that might be good enough for me to test. Like, 6 mana is a lot for that ability in Legacy, though. So, like, this might be another one of those cards where, like, it looks good in D&T, and all of a sudden you're, like, playing it at Maverick, and it's like, oh my gosh, Gaia's Cradle just makes this a joke. So there might be something weird like that going on. Like, and just to mention this as well, because Basic Planes brought it up, this is one of those cards that does pair well with Brightling, right? So Brightling can go and hit for 5 lifelink damage if you pay 2 to pump it and 1 to give it lifelink, and then that can trigger the Resplendent Angel. So the cards are not necessarily at opposition with each other. The cards may play well together, in fact. So, I have my eye on this card. I don't know whether or not this is actually playable, but I will play some leagues with it. I can pretty much guarantee that. How many Brightlings am I running in TNT? I ran 2 at SCGCon, and I very, very much like them. 2 feels like the correct number because they're not great in multiples, and they're a huge, huge mana sink. So I probably won't run more than 2. Yeah, so I have my eye on this card for multiple different Legacy decks. Alright, on to the next round. Let's squid some people. Question, can this plus Brightling plus some others lead us back to the Stoneforge list D&T? Ken, that is a real question. That's something to ponder. I have some thoughts on that. Remind me after this round, because it's going to be the sort of thing that like leads into a big conversation. So I don't just want to like start here, because it'll take a few minutes. Opponent has played D&T in the past, although somewhat recently Bugly of old. What does my hand do? My hand goes turn 1 Mimic, turn 2 Jitte, turn 3 if I draw another land, I exile a Spirit Guide and like connect with Jitte. I think I'll keep this. Or actually, do I just go like Cavern on Eldrazi pass, not play Mimic turn 1, Mimic turn 2, and then I have turn 3 Jitte equip off double Spirit Guide if I whiff? That might just be better. No, I don't know his deck with 100% certainty. I think I'm likely to hit a land in 2 draws. I haven't come upon Dark Wannix in a while. Here's to hoping they're playing D&T. Oh man, Min, you're right. I didn't just like snap keep my 7. I haven't even chaliced on 1 this entire time yet. I am doing it wrong. Show me Swords to Plowshares. He showed me Swords to Plowshares. Min, this is why I needed that chalice on 1. You were right. Thought-Knot's here. Dang it. Wait, do I care about a Batter Skull? I can just produce Reality Smasher this turn, right? I mean, num deck to beat on the source doesn't really mean anything, right? Like last month, Red Prison won a GP and was not a deck to beat. That's kind of all I have to say about that. Oh, right, I can I undo that mana now? No. So I could have just, like, moved this Jitte over to Matter Reshaper. Oops. Basic Planes. Do you want to link me to those challenge results? I didn't really pore over them. "32 copies of Deathrite Shaman in the top 8? Jeez, thank you, Min. Why do I need to kill Stoneforge with Jitte? This Stoneforge does nothing right now. This Stoneforge does literal nothing on this board. I would much rather save these Jitte counters so that, like, my Reality Smasher can do dirty things to them. Like, this way I can attack through Batterskull. Like, my opponent will go up to 12. Then I can attack for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can also just do this. All the way to 11th to find a deck that doesn't have 4 Deathrite Shamans. Time to, like, play a Rip Helm deck. Mirran Crusader. Sure. Goodbye, Batterskull. Alright, fine, man. We won't play a Rip Helm deck. Yeah, the Deathrite Shaman inbreeding is getting a little ridiculous. Just play some nonsense that is good against miracles and run back to basics. Sure. Sure, that's fine. I mean, the Deathrite Shaman ban is absolutely 100% inevitable. It's just a question of how much longer does it take. And Proto, thank you very much for your continued support. 5 months is a long time. Thank you for coming along for the ride. July 2nd. Yeah, I think July 2nd is probably about time for it to go. Like, it's mostly a question of whether or not they're willing to do that before the August GP, or whether or not they're gonna... Oh, alright, it's just Proto. Alright. Thank you, Proto. Yeah. What? This just means I get to kill both, right? Like, I shrink Crusader, then I have 3 power, I kill both Stoneforge and that. Deal. I don't think I need to move the Just Hate to Matter Reshaper for any reason, I just want it on Smasher. Alright, Recruiter's a good draw. Recruiter will go and, I guess, get Revoker to shut off Jitte? Yeah. I think I probably just have lethal here. So this is the Revoker coming in, I guess. So I should probably just, like, double pump Smasher. Then that's 9. If they have Sarah Avenger, it's just a chump block. Yeah, he probably just punted that wreck. In before he has something, like, really wonky in his deck, but I think we're done here. Yeah, so I had to read on the Avenger. So my opponent goes to 1 after all of that. Alright, so I have... This isn't technically an Eldrazi thing, right? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4... I only have 4 towards Ayalugan. And for those of you talking about, like, the cards in supplemental products, remember, those cards are so much better when accelerated out by Deathrite Shaman. So keep that in mind. Alright. Olive Dust. Seems good. Crucible's probably fine. Warping Whale, Dismember, Ratchet Bomb, Spyglass, Karn. These are all the cards that I will consider. Let's figure out what I don't want. I do not want Chalice of the Void. I'm probably overboarding, like, to do all of these. A Grixis Delver list with Jace in the main board. Oh, Deathrite Shaman. Alright, so what don't I want out of this stuff? Like, I can see Crucible being slow, but it's really good against Wasteland. I can see trimming some Endless ones because of Flicker Wisp. I could see trimming some Mimics on the draw. I could also see trimming Spirit Guides. Like, the game's going to slow down, so speed isn't as big of an issue, especially on the draw. So I could go, like, Spirit Guides out, 2 Mimics out. And then I just have, like, this crazy good endgame. I could also, like, board out 2 Endless ones. They're bad against Flicker Wisp, but they do get real big. And they are pretty annoying. Maybe Mimic's better than Endless one. Alright, so what does this do? This goes turn 1 I, play Mimic. Well, this hand's a keep. We'll see exactly what I do with it. If I get a land wastelanded, I probably want it to be I. Let's go I, Mimic. I doesn't help cast Karn. This also plays around Port. If my opponent plays something annoying like a Stoneforge, I can Warping Whale it away. Although it seems like my Eldrazi Mimic might be getting Swords to Plowshare here. Which is fine with me. there goes the eye. It's an acceptable natural draw there. Warping Whale. I think it's time to Warping Whale and produce an Eldrazi idiot. Opponent might be priced into porting me again if they can't. Alright. Mirran Crusader. Decent draw. But now my mana's freed up for a turn. What can I do with that mana? I can equip a Matter Reshaper with this, or I can just cast Endbringer. Or I can just cast Karn. I kind of like casting Karn to diversify my threats, because my opponent can't really attack with the Crusader, because then I get to crack back with Jitte on the swing back. So I can cast Karn, Karn plus, go up to 6 loyalty on it. Then my next turn cast Endbringer if I don't get ported. That seems sweet. Endless one in Cavern of Souls, so I probably get a Cavern of Souls. I think so like, just, ooh, no, they gave me the Endless one. Interesting. I think a lot of really interesting cards have been printed in the supplemental products that have made Legacy more interesting. Not always better, but more interesting. True Name was probably a mistake. I don't think that's really questionable. They printed Council's Judgment to sort of make up for that. And then there were some other very pushed cards like Baleful Strix, and Leovold and such. I can just block that and keep Karn at a really high loyalty, but I don't think I need to do that. I'm just gonna let that happen. Second Mirran Crusader. And a Vial. Sure. Alright, Dismember doesn't help with Mirran Crusader. But it's a fine card. Let's just plus Karn again. Sorceress, Spyglass, and Eldrazi Mimic. Leovold was really good. But again, with Deathrite Shaman gone, Leovold actually costing 3 mana, that's totally reasonable. So I get a Spyglass. Yep. So now I'll just pass the turn. I can defend my Karn well from Mirran Crusaders. I have Dismember up. I can blank a piece of equipment pretty easily with the Eldrazi Scion and just the Endbringer abilities. I didn't want to, like, sack my Scion to, like, play Sorcerer Spyglass on my turn. And I didn't want to just play the Endless one as a 3/3, because I can make it so much bigger. Like, I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can make it a 7/7 right now. Yes, the 2-mana Leovold is terrifying. The 3-mana Leovold's totally fair. Yeah, Leovold's piece of the color pie is a little odd. So Dr. Merp, Brightling is not available yet. Once it is available at the beginning of July, I will be playing the crap out of that card. Oh god, is it really July 15th? That's so long. Batterskull. Alright. That's actually fine for me. So I think I'm going to equip Jitte to Endbringer. I'll attack in. My opponent will block with, like, Batterskull and a Mirran Crusader. And then I'll, like, dismember the Batterskull and just, like, win this game. I'll also be putting Sorcerer Spyglass on Batterskull, obviously. Ooh, geez, I revealed Thought-Knot Seer and a Sorcerer Spyglass, so I get another Sorcerer Spyglass. That's tasty. Alright, so I got 1, 2. Equip that to Endbringer. I mean, turn 1 Chalice, it's winning GPs, it's consistently doing well in, like, every event. You can't say that, like, Red Prison is a bad deck when it puts up crazy results like that very consistently. Like, if it's beating all the top decks of the format, it is not a bad deck. It is a great metagame deck. A Flicker Wisp. That's not bad. So my opponent is going to Flicker Wisp the Batterskull on their turn. So no reason to, like, use the Jitte quite yet. Hey, Static Grip. And Ringer, so sweet. If my opponent hardcasts their Flicker Wisp, I get to just, like, ping it, and it dies. Colorless Bully Life is going well. We're about to beat down the good guys, I think. Now, Council's Judgment is pretty good here. So now my opponent can't cast the Flicker Wisp, that is their last card. So I'll just ping them for 1. My opponent votes for Jitte. So I will also vote for Jitte. I mean, we got the 4-1 with Meat Hooks. I probably stopped there, right? Like, that's probably the point where I'm like, okay, this is enough. So what do I have in Exile? Ooh, I have a Thought-Knot Seer. Ooh, so I can just, like, minus Karn, get Thought-Knot Seer, cast Thought-Knot Seer, take their last card. Delicious. Gross. There's never enough Meat Hooks in Legacy, that's fair. So I get a Spyglass Ether Vial here, or I can cast an Endless one for 4. So let's see. My opponent's going to take 6 this turn, going to 13. I'll ping them into 12. Then I'll have 5, 9, 10. Yeah, so I want more power in play. So I will go ahead and just cast an Endless one. X is currently 4. That's fine. I already have a Spyglass on Batterskull. Last king. It's down here. No worries, there's a lot going on my board. Yes, I am playing Chalices. I've not resolved the Chalice yet, though. And my Chalices are currently in my sideboard. My opponent's tanking on their Ether Vial. They're probably trying to think, like, what can I possibly draw to get me out of this? It might involve, like, ticking Vial up, drawing Recruiter, getting Recruiter, recruitering for Flicker Wisp. Well, Cataclysm would wipe constructs, but you don't board Cataclysm in against regular Eldrazi. You only board Cataclysm in versus big Eldrazi, in my opinion. I think Karn is very good in the sideboard of regular Eldrazi. I don't know that it's main deckable because it's awkward with the mana, so you only want it in games where it's going to like go long. Okay, you revoke Endbringer. And that's that. Alright, 2040. Wait, hold on. I said I had something I wanted to talk about, right? There was something I said I would talk about, but it would take too long to start. What was that? Oh, right. Stoneforgeless D&T. Okay. So the reason why I thought that Stoneforgeless D&T was just absolutely unplayable was because of how important the equipment and especially the life gain was for matchups like Grixis Delver. If D&T can be built in a way that it has other sources of life gain, then it is very possible that you could go and build a Stoneforgeless D&T deck that actually works. But here's the problem, right? So I think I still have this up, right? So this is a 3-drop. Brightling is a 3-drop. If you remove the Stoneforges from the deck, then you lose your best 2-drop play, and your curve is going to shift in a direction that you do not want it to be shifting. So even though we are getting these better life gain options, I don't think the Stoneforge Mystic package is going to be cuttable. Like, it's possible you can trim it. It's possible that you could remove the Batterskull and play another sword over it, or something like that. But I just don't think the Stoneforge Mystic package can leave until we get another really good 2-drop play. Because you can look at the other 2-drops, and they suck. Like, most of the other 2-drops are sort of narrow in some way. So, long story short, no, I don't think we can drop the Stoneforge Mystic package, even though we're getting more things that have lifelink potential to them. Arbiter's so bad when you're on the draw, though. I said one of the best. Like, no, the best 2-drop in white is just, like, Thalia, not close. I'm gonna keep this. I think my opponent plays, like, Delver decks. Alright, opponent gets to know what's going on. Thank you, Cedric LeBlanc, for subscribing. I appreciate your support. I hope you're enjoying all the, like, fun, wacky legacy content I've been doing over the last couple of days. Enjoy your Thalia emote. I'm gonna check the tape later. Yeah, like, if you want to play Arbiter, you probably need to, like, drop, the Recruiter as well. Recruiter is just crazy with Flicker Wisp. So, I don't think so. Yeah, we're real bad at drawing Callus on one. Yeah, that avatar is awesome. I don't really care enough to, like, buy an avatar. Or however you acquire them. But that one is sweet. Every once in a while I look and I have new avatars, and I change them. Yeah, subscribing from mobile doesn't really, you know, work. I do think Red Prison is a much better deck than Eldrazi. I don't think it's particularly close either. And Cedric, thank you for going to the trouble of opening up your desktop. I do appreciate that. Oh, it's like 0.01 ticks? Okay. Well, if they're that cheap, maybe I should buy it. Yeah, there goes Thought-Knot's Card's great. Rip Thought-Knot's here. And then I assume my Smasher goes next? It has Trample. Trample's a bear, but, like, Endbringer can be really hard to beat, too. But I assume we answer the immediate problems now and deal with the other stuff later. Alright, the Endbringer went down. Okay, so how do I want to sequence this turn? I can Warping Whale Deathrite Shaman away, and then just plan on going above Young Pyromancer. I can Warping Whale Young Pyromancer. There aren't any lands in graveyard, and just, like, not wasteland my opponent. I kind of like not wastelanding my opponent so I can Reality Smasher next turn. So what do I get rid of? Probably Pyro. Pyro buys a lot of time if Smasher doesn't resolve. Yes, Min, I am off for the summer, although I will be working for 3 weeks beginning Friday at Latin Academy. I don't think my opponent has Daze. If they had Daze, they would have let me keep the Thought-Knot Seer, potentially. Yeah, Rob, I'm super excited. So, like, I just got moved in here. I'm not even, like, settled into my new place completely yet. And I'll have to start packing up soon. I will be bringing the stream setup with me, Rob, so I will try to stream off and on while I'm there. I can do it, like, on the Greek day mornings, and I can do it on Sunday mornings, but probably no night streams. That seems kind of, like, suicidal to my mental health. What does that Deathrite Shaman attack mean? That means my opponent does not want to drain? So wastelanding my opponent doesn't really get me anywhere this turn. No, it's not Gurmag, because if, like, I have a Warping Whale in graveyard, so they could just eat that. I think this is getting Force of Willed. Call that my hunch. No. Does opponent have, like, actual factual Dismember? No? Main deck Liliana in a Delver deck? Main deck Liliana, yeah. Yeah, this is probably, like, actually not Delver. It's probably 4-color Pyromancer. And I should probably wasteland my opponent. Like, I can cast any threat that I have. I will sacrifice this. Waste can go onto the battlefield. Not great, but, like, I'm in a fine position. My opponent's Liliana basically does nothing. Said basically. That is something it will get rid of. Yeah, Static Grip. Wasteland gives them more mana for 1 turn, but not in the long run. So, like, I'm fine with the Wasteland play. I'm fine for trading this, like, Uncastable Spirit Guide for any of their cards, even a Cabal Therapy. I'm on kind of a slippery slope here. So, I think I have to take all of this to force my opponent to use the Liliana minus on Ballista, and then I get to kill the Baleful Strix. I'll take 2 more damage than I need to do by doing this, but then, like, the Lily is gone and dealt with. Proto, no. I probably should have done that. That's a good point. Like, it's one of those things that won't matter because there's so many creature cards in the graveyard right now, but, like, it is one of those things that I just should have done. I agree. Alright, so I will die to a removal spell. I can also just die to double train with that on the stack. Yep, okay, that's fine. Alright, so we're playing against some sort of Grixis control deck with a bunch of, like, small creatures of various natures. So, like, Young Pyromancer, Baleful Strix. So, All Is Dust is probably good. Karn's probably good. Warping Whale's fine. Ratchet Bomb's fine. Spyglass probably fine as well. I don't want Dismember. I could probably board out the Spirit Guides. Then what? Mimic gets stonewalled by a lot when not grown. So I can see trimming some Mimics. And do something like this. Just, like, slow myself down a bit, but give myself more answers and outs to their stuff. I can also see Ballista being a little slow. I think I'm okay with something approximating this. Hey man, how about I draw a Chalice on 1 this game? Nope, nope, still no Chalice on 1. But I will keep this hand. This has turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer, turn 3 Reality Smasher. There's that Chalice. A turn late. Pithing Needle. That basically does nothing. I will take a Brainstorm. I guess my opponent is scared enough of Ballista that they want to Pithing Needle it. And I guess in a pinch they also Pithing Needle Wasteland. I'm just gonna have my opponent dead in 2 shots with a bunch of Eldrazi. Bye, Sean. Thanks for stopping in for a while. Pyromancer. So I can Chalice on 1 and Matter Reshaper this turn, and then play Smasher the next turn. But my opponent's hand was really bad, so I'm just gonna, like, continue on, play and beat you to death. Well, his hand was very bad. He probably shuffled away 2 of those cards. But, like, are all of those other cards that he drew gas? If not, I feel like he's dead. Wow, my opponent kept that Pithing Needle. Interesting. Okay. Did I board my Jetes out? No, I didn't board my Jetes out. So I can go 2 mana, cast Sorcerous Spyglass off Ancient Tomb, figure out what their last card is. 3 mana, cast Matter Reshaper, Wasteland them off one of their cards, bash in for 9, effectively hitting for 5. There's no creature cards in the graveyard currently for Deathrite Shaman to eat. And opponent scoops it up there. Oh my gosh, CTL, hey, welcome. Yeah, I've seen some of your Facebook posts, but yeah, now that I'm in Virginia, our paths have not crossed in many moons. Are you hyped about that Smash Bros. Ultimate? Because I most certainly am. Well, I keep this. Man, I can't Chalice on 1. It's so sad. Well, opponent, I didn't want to cast that chalice anyway. Second eye is pretty bad. Let's see. So, to start going towards Karn, I guess I'm just going to play Eldrazi Temple and pass. I played a little bit of Smash 4. I got it for the DS, and I enjoyed it a lot. But I never bothered to get it for Switch. I didn't really get into that competitive scene. I just kept playing Melee. I still play Melee pretty regularly. Probably like once a week on average. And I don't know how we like have not had a turn 1 Chalice hand at all this league yet. It's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, well, that makes sense why you don't have any free time. Like, I've got a buddy that lives about 5 minutes from where I work, and so a lot of times I will just, like, stop off at his house on the way home, and just, like, play half an hour of Melee or something like that. Bolt, Force, Push. I will take the only one of those that might possibly get rid of Thought-Knots here. The follow-up Thought-Knots here is just going to be gross. That was a great draw. Now, did my opponent draw a blue card for that force? Let's find out. They did not. God, that Pithing Needle's still there somehow. I don't really get that. I guess I'll take Bolt. So they have Force of Will, Needle. Let's take them off of cantrips. Alright, Cabal Therapy gets my Karn. That's good. Gamer Chant, Resplendent Angel will probably see some Legacy play somewhere. Likely in Angel Stompy, potentially in flex slots of D&T. I don't even know if it's correct for my opponent to, like, plus. Like, if they plus, they get rid of a Force of Will, and I get rid of an Eye of Ugin that does nothing, and they know my hand, so they, like, knew that. That was a very disgusting draw. Note to self, don't play Urborg for as long as possible. I drew pretty well there. No exaggerations. It was just good. Alright, 3-0 currently in this league. I'm going to go ahead and refresh my water. If you have any questions for me, about new cards, about this deck list, or anything like that, go ahead and throw them in the chat. I need about a minute here. I'll be right back. 3-0 without having to rely on the power of turn 1 Chalice. Yep. Just big, dumb, colorless idiots. Yes, Rob, that's correct. Militia Burglar is not playable in TNT. I ran into someone, I think it was Welshman, who said they wanted to try that in Soldier Stomp. And it's potentially reasonable there. What are some of the best cards to play against colorless decks? It seems mana acceleration is incredible, and I feel like as colorless becomes more prominent, these types of decks will only get stronger. So JD, a lot of times the mana acceleration decks fold really hard to mana denial. So things like Port, Wasteland, Cataclysm, Phyrexian Revoker on things like Grim Monolith, those sorts of cards are very tricky for some of the colorless decks to beat. Man, I assume if we get a turn 1 Chalice, they just win, right? It's just like bingo. Just hold up your board and go, turn 1 Chalice. And you look at them and they scoop up their cards. I get 29 trophies if I get turn 1 Chalice. Man, it's been terrible. Like, I've gone 4-1, like, 8 times in the past week, or something absurd like that. I just cannot lock up a 5-0. It's killing me. Like, I don't care that much, because, like, a 4-1 finish is still an 80% win rate, and, like, that's fine. But, like, this number is pitiful. I'm so disappointed by this number. I should take the Chalice out of the deck. It doesn't attack or block. Can't argue with that. Either that or we go deeper and we put, like, the Antiquities War in the deck, and then we get them. 4/1 24 times. Yeah, Rob, that's how that works. Like, when we get the turn 1 Chalice, it will be against a deck where it just, like, absolutely doesn't matter. I considered playing some Tezzerator on stream, and then I realized how much clicking I'm probably going to have to do for that Thopter combo. And then I didn't play Tezzerator on stream. I don't know what I'm going to play tomorrow. I'll probably do some more, like, morning, afternoon streams tomorrow. Considering playing something with Spell Pierce, I had really fun, like, a lot of fun last time I played with Spell Pierce. So I might, like, play something stupid like Rug Delver and just, like, Spell Pierce everything my opponents know and love. Somebody suggested Aggro Loam, which I think would be fun. That deck's great. Yeah, Cafe Grut. We're 3-0, and we haven't even gotten a turn 1 Chalice yet. If you just tuned in, here's the deck list that I'm playing. I am playing Colorless Eldrazi with Dismember and Warping Whale as removal, and Ballistas and Endbringers as the other top end. I meant no disrespect. Well, I'm going to keep this hand. And I'm on the play. Turn 1 Jitte, turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer, turn 3 and 4 Reality Smasher. Who needs a Chalice when you can just Jitte on turn 1? Rec, I got as far as, like, looking up Tezzerator lists before I decided not to play it. My opponent's a big fan of the stream. Ooh, a Wasteland. Ah, opponent is a D&T player. Well, friend, I'm sorry, but you probably should have Wastelanded me on turn 1. I don't know what the rest of your hand is like, so I can't say for sure, but, like, letting me play, like, a Thought-Knot Seer or any creature on turn 2 is probably devastatingly bad for you. So, future you, just keep that in mind. Like, I don't know if you can win if you don't Wasteland me here. If you have a second Wasteland and you're willing to, like, take a chance and, like, play Vile and then double Wasteland me off of 2 lands, then I could see it as being justifiable. Okay, that was indeed the line. It was double Wasteland. Okay. So that's their plan. These moms do nothing. Flicker, Wisp, and Mind Sensor aren't scary. I'm going to take Revoker so that my opponent can't stop the Jitte. Opponent did not violin a mom at end step. That's unusual. So opponent could have viled in mom, with Vile trigger on the stack, put in a second mom. My opponent could have one more mom and 1 mana up as a bluff. What will Stoneforge Mystic get? It gets Batterskull. So that forces me to remove the Stoneforge here, which I would probably do anyway, just so like my opponent couldn't tick up Vile and do Flicker Wisp shenanigans. Yeah, like my opponent could have just like Viled this in and like held up another mana this turn. It doesn't matter because like I know the exact contents of their hand, but like, you know, it's something to think about. So my opponent can Vile in Flicker Wisp, flicker out my Jitte, and trade a Mom and a Flicker Wisp for this Thought-Knot Seer, which is what I assume is happening right now. What? Why not trade? I'm so confused about not taking the trade there. My opponent is not the aggro deck right now. They have to like try to get me under control. All right, opponent scoops it up there. All right, so I want Allah's Dust. I want Karn. So I think I did these before. board out these chalices, because we're never going to get a chalice on one. BRB, registering isn't Staticaster. That card is a beating, man. I've lost way too many matches to that card. And what did I do before? I think I boarded out the Spirit Guides before, and then I just, like, ran lots of cards. Like, lose some speed for greater endgame power. Assuming the games are going to go long. This is probably correct on the draw. On the play, I might want the Spirit Guides, and then, like, trim some Endless ones or something like that. This deck is a 0 out of 4, not enough Delver of Secrets. Yeah, I forgot to register my Delvers and my Deathrights, and my Brainstorms, and my Ponders, and my Underground Seas, and my Polluted Deltas. Sriracha, long story short, I think the card is going to be playable in Angel Stompy, and is worth testing in flex slots of D&T. It pairs well with Brightling, and is a fine card on its own. Alright, so what does my hand do? My hand is really slow. Really, really slow. But if my opponent doesn't disrupt my mana, these Smashers are very good in the matchup. Like, I have a lot of lands if my opponent is just going to try to wasteland me out of the game. I probably keep this, but it's a little questionable. Alright, really glad my opponent doesn't have Vile. Okay. So I have two choices. Choice one is play a Soul Land and just plan on, like, playing Smasher into Smasher and Brickwall Batterskull that way. Choice two is just, like, wasteland my opponent's Karakas and hope they don't have a second land. Or, sorry, like, third land. Both are reasonable, but I think I'm just going to go the Soul Land route. Like, my hand is such that if my opponent doesn't have too much else, I can just beat a Batterskull. But I'm not going to beat that Batterskull plus Wasteland. I'm going to play Urborg. I'm going to plan on Thought-Knot Seer next turn. Just kind of, like, get a lay of the land over there. And then Reality Smashers on following turns. Really glad I didn't wasteland my opponent. Oh, geez. Opponent has another piece of equipment. Alright, they have Jitte and Swords to Plowshares. Both are hard to beat. I'm gonna take Jitte. Unfortunately, since my opponent has this second Caracas, they're gonna like automatically have a card to discard for a Reality Smasher. So I'm not gonna get like that huge of value off my Smashers. Ugh, rough. Now my Smasher doesn't beat Batterskull. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 6. So next turn I can all his dust. So I just need to buy time. Time I have. So I need to not die. How do I not die? So I can go cast Mimic for 2, cast Ballista for 1, then Swords to Plowshares can't remove both. I block Batterskull, and or whatever like other creature picks up a sword. I then have enough life to tap Ancient Tomb for all his dust, and then I can go from there. Yeah, they have a swords, which is the issue. Otherwise, like, that would be the obvious play, Shiny Psyduck. So I think I... Or do I just play a Smasher? So if I just play a Smasher, I can go Smasher and Eldrazi Mimic. My opponent will Swords the Smasher, so I'll go down to 7 life, but then I'll go up to 12 life, and then I'll chump block the Batterskull. And then I can all his dust. And then that gets the Swords and the Caracas out of my opponent's hand, so that my follow-up Smasher on a later turn does things. Okay, okay. That I like. Oh wait, no, I miscounted my mana. I can't do Mimic and that. So we'll do the Ballista plan that I was talking about. Do I want the 1 life? I probably want the 1 life more than I want the 1 damage. So that's fine. There's a world where you want to equip to the Stoneforge Mystic there, rather than the Batterskull. But I can see, like, wanting to blank a Reality Smasher coming down. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Confirmed. This gets a little rough if my opponent has a 2-drop right here. They have Caracas and Mystery card in hand. Ooh, they did not have a 2-drop. Great for me. Yes, we already talked about Resplendent Angel. Long story short, probably good in Angel Stompy, maybe playable deity. Alright, Mom. Mom gets sword this turn. Why? Oh, so my opponent just wants to bounce Batterskull. I see. So how much am I at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I can Reality Smasher and Thought-Knots here. Shiny Psyduck, the last card in hand is a Caracas. So I think the opponent messed up. I think they were supposed to equip Mom with Sword of Fire and Ice on their turn, and then equip Mom with Batterskull on their turn following. So their plan is to bounce Batterskull. So what do I do? I think I just have to, like, play Reality Smasher and pass. Hope that they decide to do something else other than Batterskull, so that the Batterskull gets stuck and I can Thought-Knot it. Although it's also possible that I'm supposed to just, like, play Thought-Knot for no value and Reality Smasher. 1, 2. But I'll go to 4 life if I do that. That's questionable. I need to answer Batterskull. Yep. Yeah, so my hope is that my opponent draws something that makes them not want to play the Batterskull so that I can Thought-Knot it away. I don't really know why my opponent is bothering to do this, though. Like, if they had just, like, equipped the sword on Mom on their turn. Oh, shit. If my opponent had equipped sword on the previous turn, And then they would just equip Batterskull here. They'd have a 4, 5, 6. They'd have a 7/7 lifelinker that I just couldn't really beat. So this is going to hit me to 3. Well, yeah, Smasher makes us the Monarch, but I probably need to Thought Knot away that Batterskull. Otherwise, that will just beat me. Alright, so what's my turn looking like? So I can only tap one of these Ancient Tombs for colored mana. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 8 mana. So I can't both Thought Knot and Smasher. So I probably need to save the Smasher. Cast Thought Knot. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, cast Thought Knot, 1, 2, 3, cast Matter Reshaper, save Reality Smasher for the following turn. And let them have one more card. Alright, so they have Wasteland and Port. Alright, so Batterskull is answered. So I can take the crown back next turn. And I just kind of have to hope my opponent doesn't draw something like Flicker Wisp. Rob, previously I knew he had another Karakas. Alright, I don't really care about Revoker. Opponent probably misplayed again. It was probably important to move the Sword of Fire and Ice over to Palace Jailer so that my opponent has a 4/4. Like, that's a very relevant body size. I also think my opponent misplayed by not wasting Urborg, because now that lets me, like, use these Ancient Tombs for mana. Alright, so I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Play Smasher. So if I attack in with just Smasher, my opponent will probably block with Mom and Palace Jailer. But I don't think I can attack with any more without, like, fear of dying. So I'm just going to attack in with Smasher. Oh, wow. I am the Monarch. Does opponent just have a Flicker Wisp to kill me? That'd be super sad. Oh, buddy. So I know my opponent has Rashadan Port in hand. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm thinking about, like, what my opponent can draw to get them out of this spot. I think I want to wasteland my opponent's Caracas. It might not matter. My lands are probably more valuable than their lands now that I have the Monarch. My opponent didn't play the Rashadan Port for some reason. That's weird. I think I just want to continue to attack with one Reality Smasher. Although maybe I should get aggressive and just like try to put my opponent on a 3-turn clock. I can Warping Wail one body away. I do need to just like race them having a Flicker Wisp. Yeah, alright. Have to exile my Thought-Knots here. Well, that's happening. So I can Warping Wail away the Revoker or like create a chump blocker, but I can't beat all of that. So I'm going to lose this one. Alright, so I lost for attacking with the second Smasher. That's fine. I didn't think my opponent... So my opponent drew the Path for turn, which drew them into Flicker Wisp. And that's not something I played around. I played around like them having one removal spell, which would have led to me having like a huge, huge blowout in my favor. So I don't regret the lines that I took there. Yes, I would like to play first. Turn 1 Endless One, turn 2 Karn, turn 3 Reality Smasher, keep. No Vial is awesome for me. Drawing that waste isn't good for me because, like, now the Path to Exile that is potentially incoming doesn't search up a card. I am from Illinois. So this is probably going to be a Stoneforge Mystic, get Batterskull, yep. Not unexpected. Alright, so what was the other revealed card? Crucible of Worlds. I don't really care about that. Ooh, a Walking Ballista. That's sweet. That's pretty good. Bye, Karn. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and just like always dust away the Stoneforge Mystic so my opponent can't put in Batterskull. Then I can play Eldrazi Mimic and have my opponent on a 2-turn clock, a 1-turn clock if I draw a Neuter. So I think I'm going to do that. This is very aggressive on my end. Stoneforge Mystic for Jitte, cast Jitte. Oh no. That's rough. No, he wouldn't do it mid-combat. He'd do it end of turn, so I wouldn't be able to always dust it away. So there is a difference. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On the following turn, I can Ayabugan. Damage might be done here, though. Oh, I see what you're saying. But then the Batterskull's in play, and if my opponent, like, Flicker Wisps, I'm in super bad shape. Opponent didn't port me. That's weird. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can cast a Walking Ballista for X equals 4. Alright. Not out of this yet. Am I supposed to nug the Stoneforge right here? No, probably not. I probably let them jump block, and then Ballista can kill the Batterskull Germ. Yeah, the jump block's fine. That's good, white faces. I'm not exactly sure what my opponent's thinking about now. It seems pretty straightforward. Like, put in Batterskull. Opponent not porting me ended up being, like, a super huge punt this turn. Like, I don't know if they have, like, some other thing they're holding up, too. But if not, it's just like, what? Okay, chat. Let's play the game of rationalize what my opponent just did. Hit you. Hit you. Hit you. Hit you. Yeah, but if they have Cataclysm, they can just go, like, put in Batterskull, keep Germ and Artifact, and then... Why is that in the deck? Why is that in the deck? That's not good. Alright, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. And then I can cast an Eldrazi that costs 3 this turn. Or alternatively, I'll just destroy this so you can't Batter Skull. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I can just, like, I get Smasher, kill you next turn. Or I can go, like, just... Oh, I can also just cast this for free, too. Okay. Flicker was targeting Urborg. Take a quick peek first. I'll take Batter Skull. Ooh, alright, that was a nail biter. But my opponent made some critical mistakes in a couple of different places that let me pull ahead. Alright, so once again, we're 4-0, going on to the last round. Let's see if we can finally get another trophy, or if this will be yet another 4-1. That one was kind of grindy. I'm going to use the bathroom real quick, just in case this next one is as grindy. Be right back. Whiteface is just trying to crush the Eldrazi dream. Doesn't want the tentacle monsters to rule supreme. the Legacy community is a small enough world where, like, if you hang around enough Legacy places, you're gonna keep bumping into the same people again and again and again. Oh, Arkin, thank you very much for hosting. I am currently playing Eldrazi, and as you know, I am currently 4-0 going into the final round. Whew. It's kind of baffling to me that, like, this was basically a modern deck, right? For a while there, you could just play almost all of this in modern, minus, like, Jete and some of the Soul lands. That's just so absurd. Malo, 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 malo. Alright, so, fun aside. There are some words in Latin that have multiple meanings, so when you try to string them together into a sentence, sometimes you can create something that is, like, super grammatically ambiguous but also correct. So, like, there's a word that means apple, a word that means to prefer not to, a word that means bully, a word that means, I want to say it's like some sort of like blackberry or mulberry tree, and you can string the word malo together into a sentence that, like, works, but you look at it and it's like, that's the same word 4 times. No, that's 4 different words that all happen to be the same form. Oh, Arkin, I don't disagree. My draw was kind of nutty against you. Hoping for the 5-0. We'll see. I've gone 4-1 like so many times recently. I just can't clutch it in that last round. Stoneforge, I don't know that the Waste is good. One of my Death and Taxes opponents did Path to Exile me, and I got the Wastes. So, like, that was fine. But I don't really know if the Waste is better than just, like, playing a second Caracas to help deal with Merit Lodge, because Merit Lodge is, like, a super problem card for this deck. So I don't really know that Waste is better than either Caracas or Mishra's Factory. I'd rather be in an apple tree than a naughty boy in adversity. That's cute. Oh, I think my opponent plays Red Prison. That's not good for me. If my opponent indeed plays Red Prison, this is not a good hand. Because his hand does nothing. If my opponent does not play Red Prison, this still probably isn't a good hand, right? Like, I can Chalice on 2, Matter Reshaper on 3, but I don't really have any pressure with this hand. So I think regardless of what my opponent is playing, this hand goes back on the draw. Yeah, it has lands and spells, but no game plan. I think this goes back. This has a game plan. This is, like, so much of a better hand. Dear opponent, please do not turn 1 Blood Moon me. Let me produce 6 power on turn 1. Ooh, opponent not Red Prison. That's wonderful for me. Oh shoot, Arkan is my opponent's Storm? Because their results say they're Red Prison. Like, their last finish is 9 days ago with Mono Red Prison. Well, then we fumbled Arkan, and I should have just kept the first hand. The first hand was super clunky, though. So, like, I Chalice on either 0 or 1, depending on what my opponent does on their first turn, and then I have, like, no closing power. So, with Mimic on top, I go turn 1 double Mimic, turn 2 Endless 1 for 4, attack for 8, my opponent will go to 11. And then if I draw a Spirit Guide or a Soul Land, my opponent's just, like, dead. Oh, no! Well, I thought he was Red Prison, Arkan thought he was Storm, and that was Underground Sea into Deathrite Shaman, so... there's that. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Well. Yeah. Yep. That does not... Yep. No. I could play an Endless 1 for 2, but I think I just want to play an Endless 1 for 4 on my next turn. It's the same amount of damage, and I have a bigger idiot. Could still be Storm. Storm Splashing Deathrite Shaman. Card's so good. Why wouldn't you play it? It makes mana and finishes them off. You just do small tendrils and Deathrite drain them out the rest of the way. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Storm with Daze and Deathrite Shaman. Yeah, totally reasonable. Flozilla, if my opponent dazes that, I'm so happy, right? Because they go back another land drop, and then I go, like, Smasher into Smasher uncounterable. Like, I'm so okay with my opponent, like, getting rid of that. Okay, I could see an argument for, like, not exposing it to, like, both Daze and Forest by playing Cavern. That's reasonable. I believe in myself. Sure. And we've already reached Deathrite Shaman chump territory. Alright. That's fine. I have my opponent dead on the next turn. I see you have a big fish opponent. And now I can't make this one uncounterable due to Ibuken making me cost 2 colorless less. Opponent says, fucking luck. Alright. So we're playing against Grixis Delver. Warping Whale seems good. Ratchet Bomb seems good. Dismember seems medium. All His Dust seems medium. Thorn seems medium. Crucible seems medium. So, like, these are medium cards that I probably won't bring in, but I might bring in some. Dismember's just, like, super awkward. But it's really good if my opponent is reliant on, like, a Deathrite Shaman for mana, or they just, like, play out a Pyromancer and pass, or they produce a big fish, and then I just get it without having to trade a big body. So it probably comes in. Auto Translate, thank you for letting me know. That's an unusually large amount of lag. I'll look into that. Usually there's just a couple of seconds, so I'm not sure what's going on there. I just moved, so some of my internet settings might not be optimized here. I'll figure that out. Thank you. Alright, so what don't I want against Delver? I like this stuff. I like this stuff. Am I supposed to just, like, trim some Mimics for removal? Like, I'm not going to play these Thorns. The All Is Dust is probably too much mana to be good. Maybe Crucible is even questionable. I should just, like, board a couple cards. Like, trim some Reshapers. I'm also not sure how sure I am that I need Mimic. Like, maybe I'll play Crucible. Maybe the Reshapers are just better since they cycle. I don't know. I'll split since I don't know. Alright, I have a turn 1 Chalice. And it's even against a deck that a turn 1 Chalice is good against. This Crucible will mitigate the power of a Wasteland against me. Daze is fine. I will try again next turn. Alright, I resolved the Chalice on 1, so my opponent will get to do nothing on their turn. Then I'll play Urborg and play Crucible. Opponent probably trying to fill their graveyard for a big fish. Gurmag Angler is not a good enough card to see a banning. Opponent's not in trouble if they go, like, Underground Sea into Gurmag Angler, or, like, just tap Urborg for Gurmag Angler. So I get 5 mana next turn, so next turn I can Reality Smasher, which will trade with Gurmag Angler. So I should mimic this turn. And then I'll cast an Endless One for 1 just to chump block and save 5 life, I think. I think the rest of my hand is good enough where I don't need this. Maybe. I don't need to chump block yet. I can take a hit. Chalice on 1. Yeah, we're not going to do that. Good call. Good call. So, I think I want to play my Cavern this turn. If I play Cavern, then I can go up to 4 mana next turn, 6 mana the following turn, and, like, mitigate the damage that a Wasteland does to me. And then I can, like, Thought Knot into Reality Smasher. Or I can just go, like, 3 mana this turn, cast Endless One for 3, attack for 3, then Reality Smasher the following turn. Then that's attack for 5, 10, 13. That puts my opponent pretty close to dead. Oh, but if I play Cavern this turn, then all my Eldrazi's are uncounterable. But I would be taking some time off. Time off's probably fine. Well, those are all cards I don't care about. I'll take a Bolt, I guess. So I can go 1-2, play Ancient Tomb, 3-4-5. Hey! 5-0! Finally! That was one too many 4-1 leagues. Very, very happy to finally get a 5-0. Monkeys can't cry. There's no reason to ban fetches. Just, like, absolutely no reason. They're very good. They're not bannable. Marija, the conclusion on the Angel was, like, probably good in Angel Stompy, maybe good in flex slots of D&T, certainly worth testing, but fights for some spots with Brightling. GG, so sick, GG. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the 5-0. This is my friend Travis Gibson's list. It was very good. I liked everything that was here. I was kind of questioning the Crucible, although it was very, very good in that last match there. So it pulled its weight. I liked everything else that was happening here. It just feels like good, solid. The only thing I'm not sure about is whether or not this Singleton Wastes is good enough. I kind of think a second Caracas is better because like Merit Lodge decks and Reanimator decks are both kind of tricky matchups. But that's maybe the only change that I would make. I mean, if you ban fetches, then you just play more dual lands. Like, not all that much changes there. Like, there are so many viable dual lands other than just the duals, where if you take away the fetches, it doesn't matter all that much. Like, your mana is still going to be stellar, and taking away fetches would just make the format worse against, like, Blood Moon type effects, so that would probably be a net loss to the format as a whole. Yeah, and then you, like, lose the best part about Legacy, right? Like, you lose, like, Brainstorm and Fetches, which is, like, one of the biggest portions of, like, Legacy's identity versus any other format. Not good. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and call it here. I will be back tomorrow. Chat, what do you want to see tomorrow? What should I play tomorrow? I haven't decided yet. I'm open to suggestions. I was kind of thinking something blue tomorrow. Like, I was kind of thinking Rug Delver and Agrolome as good decks to stream, but I'm open to other suggestions. I've played Legacy Humans before. I guess Dredge has blue cards. Infect is a reasonable suggestion. Well, I don't really know how to play Doomsday, and that's not a deck you just pick up and play. Lands is fine. Lands is really hard. The deck's so hard to play. Well, Nick Fit will come when I hit 1,000 subs. I'm going to do 2 Nick Fit streams when I hit 1,000. I'm sitting at like 940 or something like that right now, so that'll be soon. All right, people like the sound of Nick Fit. Okay, I'm gonna keep Infect and Agroloam open as possibilities for tomorrow. I'll probably play some tomorrow morning after breakfast, so maybe, somewhere between 8 and 10 a.m. Eastern Time, depending on when exactly I wake up and what all I do tonight. Okay, so my name's Phil Gallagher. I run Thraben University. I hope you enjoyed today's legacy content. There will be more tomorrow. I'm really working on kind of showing off some cool stuff this week that I usually don't play as a reward for hitting 50 subs, which was a big mark for me. So thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this content. If you do, please follow so that you get announcements about when I'm going live. I'm off for the summer, so I'm going to be streaming a lot, but it's going to be at sporadic times, especially starting Friday. So following me is the best way to know when I'm going live. And if you really enjoy this content, please consider doing a donation deck list, or please consider subscribing to support my channel. It means a lot. As foretold, Stompy. I would do that for a donation, but I don't think I'd just play that deck. It looks bad. I don't think there's another way to say that, White Faces. It looks so bad. It's so questionable. I think I watched Hooglin play a few games with it, and it looked beyond clunky. Yeah, JD, we've gotten a lot of growth over the past 6 months. Like, I'm at about, a little under 1,000 followers. I'm at 50 subs. I'm pretty happy. I'm well on my way to making partner. I'm hoping to do that by the end of the summer. We'll see how things go. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and log off for now. And I'm going to send you over to another Legacy streamer. I have no idea what he's playing currently, but he usually plays blue mid-range stuff.